So it is now kind of mid-July time, and I seem to be still in this kind of post-recovery readjustment phase that I wasn't expecting to happen, and it is quite strange. So I mean, yeah, it's a nice problem to have for sure, but I wasn't expecting it. I was just thinking that I would recover and that would be that, and I would move on with my life and I don't know, not look back. I don't know. But I think, you know, when you've lived a certain life for a certain amount of time, which I have, I was ill for just over 3 years. Some people less, some people a lot more. It's almost like you can't just flick a switch and suddenly that didn't happen. And actually, in some ways, we don't want to pretend it didn't happen because I think if we were pretending it didn't happen, then we might not have learned some of those lessons that we needed to learn. Certainly, that's how I feel. So, as much as I didn't want it to happen and I hate that it did, I don't think I can forget that part of my life. I think I need to learn from it. And, but how do you reconcile that with actually being able to move on with your life? So, I still find myself to some degree like thinking about what I'm doing. So, what do you mean you can do more than one activity in one day? You know, like the other day I was like, my partner said, "Oh, do you want to go cycling?" And I was like, but I went out this morning. And then I was like, wait a second, that's I can do that now. So I'm not. It's not quite such a big thing in my mind anymore. But I'm still adjusting. I'm still having to think about what I can and can't do to some extent because I can't stop myself, not because I can't do it. So I think it is kind of adjusting with time. I am thinking less and less, can I do this? Because I can. Everything I do, I'm fine. Even when I do something that's a bit too much, I'm thinking, oh, that was quite a lot. I feel quite tired. But that's okay because I just did a lot. Healthy people can do that. A healthy person can do quote unquote too much and not put themselves in bed for a month. So, doing too much and, finding your limits, that's something that I can do now, which is really exciting. So, yeah, it's definitely it's an adjustment physically. It's definitely an adjustment mentally, and just kind of trying to, yeah, readjust into this life where I am fine. And yeah, I just wasn't expecting this at all. It's a really really weird thing, and I think actually it would probably make quite a good podcast episode as a discussion with somebody about this kind of readjustment phase. But I think it's probably part of the process and probably healthy in some ways. I just, as I said, wasn't expecting it at all. So, yeah, the episode of the podcast where I talk about my recovery is gonna come. It's just not happened yet, and I think maybe this is part of the adjustment process. It's not that I don't want to talk about it, and it's not that I don't want to share it, because I do. I absolutely do. And, I have talked about it in some ways, but um, I don't know, I wanted to just really know how I felt before I started trying to share all of my thoughts and stuff on it with other people. I felt like maybe I owed it to people who were going to listen to it to have maybe adjusted a little bit first. But I don't know. Maybe it's one of those things like perspective that changes over time. Maybe if I recorded my recovery story a year from now, I'd be saying a lot of different things to what I would be saying when I'm hopefully, knock on wood, gonna get it done tonight. So we'll see. It's a very strange process, and it's one that I'm very grateful and lucky to be able to go through, having recovered. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I wasn't expecting.